Hey everybody, today we're going to take a look at the darter goby. There's a good shot if it'll unblur on me. The darter goby. And I get these in my canal in my backyard. It's a brackish water canal. Not likely to ever see these in the pet trade. I don't know why. They're really a cool goby. So they can live brackish water, salt water. This is full salt water they've been acclimated to. And I even have them in fresh water too. So I just put some food in there, but they are normally out and active a lot, swimming around. So they seem, they're a scavenger, but they do seem to like some meaty items. So I'm not sure beyond that. I just usually use either Wardley shrimp pellets or some kind of sinking pellet food. They definitely go after that. I have some ghost shrimp in here as well. Really easy to take care of, really interesting. They're not colorful, but they do have some interesting markings on them, and I do notice sometimes they will darken up. Like this one over here, he's a little bit darker. So you can see, and he darkens up more sometimes, so they do have the ability to change the shade of their camouflage, or whatever you want to call it. So they're in here with some ghost shrimp, and there's an olive nerite. I did have a baby Mayan cichlid in here that I also got in the canal, and they went fine. The baby Mayan cichlid kind of chased them around sometimes, but not to excess. It wasn't a big deal. But those fish are kind of aggressive anyway. So you can see they're hopping around. So I also have two in a freshwater aquarium here right next door. We'll take a look at them. We should be able to see them in a minute. So these are pretty small. I usually get them at less than an inch. Now I do have one in another tank. It's really hard to see him. That he's grown to about 2 inches, and that's probably about the maximum size. It's really hard to see him. He's in this refugium tank, and there's a lot of algae and stuff in there. It's really hard to see him, so I definitely will. Okay, so let's go over here to the freshwater. Okay. And you might be able to see one right there. Yeah, he's right there on the corner. So this is in a freshwater. They're in with some least killifish that I have here. And they do just fine in freshwater too. Again, if you had a brackish water tank, these would do fine too. So they're really cool fish in that you can put them in pretty much any type of salinity, and they seem to do fine. So we'll go back here. It's just a little bit easier to see them here. So really interesting fish, and you can have them in a really small tank as well, which is nice. I've had them, well, I've got two of them in the 2-gallon over there. That's a 2-gallon. This is a 5-gallon with a 10-gallon footprint. It's a shallow 5-gallon, you can see. So you can have several in a really small aquarium, so they're really good for pico tanks, I think. Do really well. Because you do got to feed them some pellets. You want to just keep track of the water quality. I mean, I don't really worry about it too much. I just do occasional water changes. And if there's some algae in there, I don't really care. And I did put some plants in here, some Chaetomorpha and some Caulerpa, just to help with the nutrient uptake. And hopefully that's helping some. You can see they jump around a lot. And really interesting, they're always kind of moving around and scurrying around, exploring, looking around. So that's what they make a really interesting creature to have in your tank. So I do sell these if you're interested on eBay. I'll put a link to my eBay store. I have these occasionally in stock. This is where I keep the ones I sell. I have the big one over here next door in this big refugium where I've got some wild green mollies and a whole bunch of brackish water, saltwater ghost shrimp. And there's a big one in here. I don't know if we'll be able to see him or not. I doubt it. Like I said, it's hard to see him in here. But the reason I even set this other tank up is it was so hard to catch him in here. It's just too big and there's too much stuff in here. So it was just too hard to catch him. So I thought I've got this tank, I'll convert it from freshwater to saltwater, and this way, when I sell them, it's just much easier to catch them. I might have to remove the rocks if they're on to me that I'm after them, but it's, you know, be way simpler. They can do so, and they do just fine in small tanks. Like I said, it's no problem at all. So really easy to take care of. You probably will not see these for sale anywhere else. You got to collect them yourself or probably buy them from me. That's probably the only way you're going to get this particular goby. It's, you know, native to mainly southern United States. If you look on the map, you know, I've got the scientific name posted of this too. So it's mainly a southern species that likes warmer water. So, you know, your typical saltwater tank or freshwater tank where the temperature is up in the, at least in the 70s, although they certainly can handle cooler temperatures because they're out in the brackish water canal behind my house, and it can get pretty cold in there in the winter time, and obviously they can handle that. So they can handle a wide variety of temperatures, but they're certainly more of a subtropical to tropical species, but they can handle cooler water, certainly living in those brackish water canals. All right, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know, and we will see you later.